From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Throwing now, Rosen on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. DeAndre Hopkins with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals.
Makes the score Bengals 7, Jets nothing. Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Let's go now. 90, Wolf.
50. It's our field. It's our field.
Play action. Now Jackson. Oh, he's going to take a shot right. And got his man complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. Big yardage that time for the Jets. And even 50 yards. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Pilot, 64, weak. Hey, Foxtrot. Ready?
Play action. It's Jackson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Here's Jackson to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion, and to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Now the Jets will call on the field goal unit here. This from 54 yards away. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
Charles, 54 yards. I'm surprised that came up short.
I would agree with that one because normally If he misses, it's accuracy, not length, because he has plenty of leg for that. But maybe it's like I hit my golf shot, you know? Maybe it's like my wedge. You know, when you chili dip and you hit the ground ahead of it, sometimes that'll shorten your distance as well.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has zero answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively, I keep attacking. I keep throwing the football until they make me change.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. David Johnson. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Sanders on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Ready.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Protein spill.
Hey, we got this.
Move. Get it.
Throwing again, Jackson. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Come.
From the gun, Jackson. Found his target, it's Anderson. And all the way down to the 29. Big yardage that time for the Jets. 47 yards.
Ready.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. To throw again is Jackson. That one complete to Anderson. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A good pickup there, a 22.
First down. 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
Bravo.
Again, Jackson to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal.
Hey, exit. Mike 51.
Jackson will throw again. toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job. Way to knock it down.
3rd and goal, Jackson. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Sam Hubbard in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. And his kick is indeed good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So he gets an early chance to redeem himself, and he's able to put that one through.
And how happy is he that he's able to get that second chance so quickly after the first miss, gets his confidence back up, and who knows, they may need him for an even bigger kick later in the game.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. David Johnson. His second TD of the game and 16th on the season. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The New York offense taking over for their next possession as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Robbie Anderson, the man he was looking for. That'll bring up 2nd down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, and they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. To throw again, Jackson. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 17-yard line. From the red zone now, here's Jackson on 1st down. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. After the loss to start out, here's second and 11. Rosen hands off to Johnson. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, it's Rosen. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
21-3 is your score after one. Play action here with Rosen. Going deep for Hopkins. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. But it's going to be second down.
Well, one thing's for sure. When you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. On second and 10. Rosen. It's caught. Cooper. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a...
And this is caught, and all the way in for a Cincinnati score. DeAndre Hopkins, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Whoa! He just yanked that one well to the left and no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Get it.
To throw is Jackson. Going to throw again. That'll be taken in by Anderson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the pickup there. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
At the 24-yard line.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Jackson. Into the hands of his receiver, Anderson. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Break.
50. Mike is a 50. Check my 50. Get that quarterback.
Deep grip.
Jackson gets it to Strong. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Let's go now. 10-2 soft.
That's what I do.
Hit it.
Jackson from the shotgun. Dancing to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Jackson now. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Jets are able to cut into this deficit. Extra point safely through. And that'll cut this to a 17-point spread. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
50 to Mike. 50 to Mike. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Five yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it.
Off the play fake. Here's Rosen. It's complete. Stills. And he works free. But he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Kenny Stills, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Sanders now to add the extra point. And the lead is now 24. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Jackson from the gun. He'll throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
A loss of 2.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Move. Hey. 4 down.
We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Draw play, Rosen to Johnson. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Let's get this.
From the gun, a run for Johnson. Space to run past the 20. David Johnson on his way. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. David Johnson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That'll be taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Ready. 18 Gator. Hey. High 7.
They go play action with Jackson. He's going to air one out for Anderson. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So that changes things. Here's 1st and 10 all the way up at the 45.
Go. Buzz.
Mike 50.
On the pit.
Now Jackson operating from the gun. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Foxtrot.
Jackson now throwing again. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Jordan Evans able to drop him for a loss of a couple. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Now he's going to let, and for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Room here to run. And how about that for just running out the clock? Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This from 54 yards away. Sanders' kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime here on Christmas Day. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep.
The Jets take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
Come on.
From the 22, Jackson. And he's got it complete to Anderson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one covers 29 yards. First down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
This is Freeman on first and 10. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
50, Mike, 50.
Throwing is Jackson. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Ready.
They go play action now. Jackson. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third. The Bengals with 2 extra DBs, a nickel look on third.
Blanketing the passing lanes.
Here's Jackson to throw. And that will be incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And that'll be off the crossbar and out. It's short. He couldn't get it there. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And you just kind of get the sense that this team's been snake-bitten a little bit here. They just have not had anything go their way.
It's like they collectively walked under a ladder on their way into the stadium. What else could go wrong?
After the missed kick, they're in really good position. They'll begin this drive at the 39 now. They start the drive with Anderson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Hey, we heavy on the edges and then on that. Check the backer, check the backer.
From the gun on third down, it's Rosen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. C.J. Mosley in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Here's Jackson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 10 yards is the pickup. Good enough for a Jet first down. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. He's going to air one out. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And he held on to it, but he probably shouldn't have as they get him behind the line.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson eluding the pressure right. And this is going to be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
On third down, Jackson. That is caught by Anderson for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Jets are able to close the gap just a bit. So the Jet offense staying on the field. They're going to go for 2.
All day, dog.
And he will get into the end zone to shave 2 more points off the deficit.
The score, Bengals 44, Jets 18.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Bengals take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Johnson. Johnson, it's poke free. Football's out. And the Jets have recovered.
Yeah, baby. We got it. We got it.
Ready, set.
Hey, 50, 50.
Hey, echo.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back.
Hit it.
After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards, the final tally.
Set. 15. Time.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Jets 18.
Let's go. 60 outlaw.
All day.
Hey, Haywood.
Here we go. 50. Mike 50. Hey, let's
Shoot.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. I want to go back to something you said in the first quarter about winning.
Is it a positive?
It is a positive.
Okay.
About winning the turnover battle. As a visiting team, as an underdog, you were right. They've done just that, and look where it's gotten them.
It's part of the formula. When you go on the road, as you mentioned, being an underdog, winning the turnover battle is a big key, and this one's playing out in this one.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
No. Off.
Topper. Hey, wahoo. Ready.
Here's Jackson. The throw again. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now Jackson. This is caught. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Hilton, the lone receiver, right.
It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be...
Yes. Hey, Zoo.
50, march 50, march 50. Hey.
Snap.
Jackson will throw again. That is caught by Anderson for a Jets touchdown. Robbie Anderson, his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Jets capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. So the Jet offense staying on the field. They're going to go for 2. And he'll get in, and they're going to draw themselves 2 points closer. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game that 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. I'm sure the message as they come out onto the field was, hey, take care of the football, because the fumble last possession led to a touchdown. Still a 3-score game, though.
You don't want things to start to snowball. You know, one error leads to another, which leads to another. And then all of a sudden you're fighting for your life down the stretch instead of finishing the game in style, which is what they're trying to do on this drive.
Yeah, it would be a pretty amazing comeback, but we've seen crazier things happen in the National Football League.
We certainly have.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. This is caught inside the 15. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Amari Cooper, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful.
Jets, 26.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It's a gain of 35. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 17. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
A throw out wide caught by Hopkins. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They go to Johnson again. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
Brings up 4th down.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. To throw is Jackson. Forced out to his left. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Jackson on 1st down. Being chased out left. He's going to let it fly. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Throwing again. Jackson. Flush to his right. He's going to take off. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Bengals grab it. And some room to roam now. There he goes, left side.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
It's a party now. It's a party now.
And they will take a knee here. They've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal?
Here we go.
And they take a knee. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cincinnati, the win moves them to 8-7 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.